this is going to be a tutorial on how to do this. So last year, we just wanted to have a little fun. We made a little movie. It included a lot of special effects. One that I worked on was climbing up a rock face. This is the shot that we got, which involves compositing together a lot of photo elements that we got ourselves, like this cliff face, and some that we downloaded, like this no trespassing. Some of that stuff's just in 3D. Just add a little depth to the shot, make it a little deeper, make it a little bit more exciting. So that's going to be one. We're going to be compositing a very tall cliff out of multiple layers of the same photo or similar photos. 2, we're going to be using the camera tool to add some depth to the scene with some of these 3D elements. I'll break it down to just the basics, and maybe you guys can take it from there. This cliff in real life is about 20 feet high, maybe 30 feet. Made it look like 100 feet or something like that, so makes it seem a little bit more suspenseful, and it was just fun to do. The cliff is actually just a still photo that we composited together to make one really long cliff in After Effects. And then you can see here another element that we've added in 3D, and some elements up here that we've added in just to make the whole scene look a little bit more intricate. Some vines in here, maybe those are in 3D, just subtly. Some stuff there that we added. And then just motion blur to, honestly, just to get rid of any imperfections. You could see right along there. There's probably going to be a boundary between 2 photos, but the motion blur gets rid of it. Again, probably another boundary between 2 photos. So let's make a new composition. Well, right here in the middle, beautiful repetitive cliff face. You notice back in this one, not the same orientation. We turned it 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Making sure the shadows look like the sun is still way up high in the sky, striking down in that direction. I was able to get away with it, and I like the results. If you're taking your own pictures of a cliff, that might give you better results. All right, drag your photo onto the composition icon at the bottom of the project panel. That's where you want to do it. That's where it's going to get done. That's the way. Now we have a pre-comp. So first things first, we're going to scale them up. That'll be the easiest way, because what we want to do is get rid of that blue and that green on the top and bottom. Again, that's just because of the nature of this particular photograph I downloaded. You might not have to do it on yours. Okay, now press tab and to go back out to your parent comp. So then you're going to Control K, and that brings up your composition settings. Alternatively, you can go to composition settings. Make sure that lock aspect ratio is deselected. Decrease the width to the same pixel width as your height, if that makes sense. The height, we're just going to increase arbitrarily. Now it's 10 times the height. Now jump back down to this layer, your only layer on this comp, and we're just going to rotate it 90 degrees. And then we are going to apply one small little effect to this. Motion tile. There we go. And best practice, just drag it down onto your layer. Because we turned it 90 degrees, just increase the output width. And there you go. And don't do too much, just to the boundaries of your composition. Otherwise, the computer won't be able to handle it. So, our original comp here, motion tile is extending the image above and below based on our width. Control Shift C. When we pre-comp this again, scale it up because we scaled it, or we turned it over, so it was the wrong scale. So, something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, let's edit the position. So we don't want it to start right away, but we can have it start at maybe a second. Take the position value down so that we end up seeing the bottom of the cliff face. And we'll stop at 19 seconds. And go back up, back up, back up. There we go. Select your keyframes, F9 those suckers, because that's what's fun. Some people don't understand this graph, so if you don't worry. It is pretty confusing at first, I think. It was for me. All I'm doing is changing the speed at which the motion begins. So this represents real slow at first, then real fast, and then real slow again. Some people use plugins. That is perfectly alright because it works. Let's put some motion blur around it. Adobe After Effects 2019 enables motion blur for the composition anytime that you turn on or enable motion blur for any one of the layers within your composition. Boom. No, it's on. Let's add a camera. Place a few 3D layers at the top and bottom of the comp and parent them to your cliff layer. And just play around pushing them back or pulling them forward in Z space. And they will look awesome. Make sure that you deselect your cliff as being a 3D layer. Just make that sucker 2D. Tutti frutti. And then Alt click on the stopwatch, wiggle. I did 0.5, comma 0.5, which is enough. Okay, kids, if you enjoyed that party of learning, make sure to subscribe and smash that bell to keep up with us and keep on learning. Thanks.